I'm calling this the most hidden white racism. And it's kind of baffled me because people always drum up racism against people who are not racist, and they're thinking I know they're hiding racism somewhere. They're hiding racism. And then they've taken it and attacked, they've been told to attack the people who they suspect is hidden in. And I'm thinking, I just realized that now I just realized why they do that, because there is hidden white racism, but not in they're going for the wrong target though. There's no hidden there's no hidden racism with Donald Trump, but they attack Donald Trump because they think he's hiding racism, right? And because the people who are hiding it have told them to attack, right? And the ones who suspect that, so they qualified it, but and that's not just white racist, though. The hidden white racism is also hidden because it allows black racism. So here's where your hidden white racism is. Most of it is. It's because it's the white Democrat Party who pretend to be friends with black folks are your racists. That's the ones who allow thieves to take over black neighborhoods. The ones who tell them to hate somebody who gave black people. Donald Trump gave black people $200 billion. $200 billion, not to Iran, but to black Americans for jobs and colleges and jobs, black colleges and black job business. So, if he's racist, it's against white people, but he's not racist against white people. He saw a need there. There's a need for that, right? Because the Democrats are always pretending they call people like that racist. They help black folks, right? Come on now. Even if you still think that Donald Trump's hiding racism, and this isn't supposed to be about him, he's just a good example on this subject, on this point. Because what is not a good example about $200 billion going to black colleges and black business. Now, I wish the news and media who are good with facts checking and everything, I wish they would. I want to remember to try to get them a message somehow. Relay a message. I wish they'd do some shows about where did that money go and investigate it and make sure it went to the right places and all that kind of stuff. And that's not Trump's doing, but whoever he gave the money to, we hope they put it through. But really the bigger point of that, the reason I want him to do it is because you go investigate it. Nobody believes Donald Trump did it, but they don't talk about it. He did that. He did do that. He got that put through. Of course, the whole Congress ended up doing it, but he's the one that did it. And he's the one that pushed for it and got it done, right? I've never heard an idea like that before, until Donald Trump did it. And that especially that large, but he got it done. All right. So the reason I want them to do a show about investigating where the money went and whose hands it went into is so people get the point that he did it, right? And so I hope and I'm going to assume, knowing Trump, that he put it in the best hands he knew. He double checked on whose hands it went into, and it didn't go to the people who were putting it to cartels and Democrat votes. Now, according to what happened in the election last time, it's possible it went to some people who took it and used it to cheat on votes or something. I don't know. But against Trump. But I don't think so. I think, we'll see. I hope they do that. But so, no, let me forget my subject. Yes, may I ask in the audience? I need to do a live video so I can ask questions and have people remind me of stuff. But hidden white racism. Okay. So it is. It's in the Democrat Party. That's why it feels good to you when they say so and so is racist. And then most the Republicans are in the working class. You do have probably more people. There's people who are retired and disability and all that in both parties, but probably more so in the Democrat Party. And a lot of those people, they probably let them through. They actually play games with those kind of things. They probably let them through so they can have time to do stuff to help campaigns. And but they're allowed to speak too. They're allowed to speak about their issues, but the Democrats own media and stuff, and they block Republicans from speaking. So my point is that you don't hear Republicans, and plus Republicans, just a lot of them do think that's dumb. I can't believe they accuse people of that, and they need to quit complaining and worry about stuff. And you do have to complain some, but especially not to the wrong people. Though when you do it about the wrong people, you should be complaining about the ones that are tricking you, really. But they don't defend themselves enough and say, I'm not racist, and they don't point out racism in the other party because they're outnumbered. And I don't know why people don't do that. They need to do more of that. The Republican people need to say, look, call out black racism. So the Democrats are hiding behind black racism. The white Democrats, they empower racist black folks in the Democrat Party, racist black Democrats, and ones who like to play the race game. And there might not even be about racism. It might be because they want to get rid of Christianity. They want to get rid of capitalism and go back to slavery. That's the Democrats. They want to get rid of capitalism and do what? I mean, what else is there besides paying people for their labor? That's what capitalism is about. Paying people for their labor. That's one of the main things it's about, right? So, but it's about business. Building a small business, hoping it grows large. Building a small business, hoping it grows large. If not, keeping a small business in business. And so now you're not overcharging people because you want to draw customers. Some places you can't overcharge. They do that in rich areas. Do I think that's fair all the way? That you charge more for rich people? I don't know about that. That's debatable. Too much of it can hurt the system, and it may have. So, and then the Democrats want to tax them more because they want to get rid of capitalism. But should be probably even taxes all the way across, really. But to save the system, and so they can invest in more business, stuff like that. And then to make the government do what they're really supposed to do and protect us, protect our borders, have a good military, and keep their budget low enough to where that's pretty much all they can do, right? And let business do what it does. It's business, people working together with a work ethic and making money off of feeding people, trading foods. I guess you have a regulation department, to simplify it, simplify it. So, but there's hidden racism in the Democrat Party, more than there is anywhere else, because they've hidden, think about this. They hid the fact that Democrats are the party of slavery. They call all of America the slave nation. They're calling us a slave nation to everybody, that we were the nation of slavery. No, it was the Democrat side, not the side that freed it. There's another half that fought a war to get rid of that, right? First of all, and the side that sanctioned that had to be linked with the countries people were escaping from to get freedom here. So that ends up being the Republicans. They weren't called Republicans yet, but the Republicans, the people that supported the freedom and settlers and all that, they joined the Republican Party and fought the Civil War against slavery to unite the whole country with the outlawing of slavery. They didn't fight the war to unite the country and make slavery legal everywhere. They did it to outlaw it. But then they let the Democrat Party back in. Abraham Lincoln decided to do that, then he died, to give them a chance to join with us under the new laws instead of kicking them out. And so ever since, the Democrats have been trying to get, trying to manipulate stuff, a lot of certain ones now. Some of them bought into the system partway, but it's gotten worse to where they're still wanting back. That's the godless people who don't want one nation. They either want a complete control using a false god, or even turning the Bible false. They do that too. Like that's why people ran here from Catholicism. Catholicism does put some twists in the Bible, but mostly they're pretty good nowadays. The ones in America, some of them are pretty accurate about Christ. But if they go with Mary or the Pope too much, that's, you don't have to do confessions to a Pope or whoever that is. You can pray straight to God and do your confessions there. So that's not biblical. And so, and then people ascribe the Bible to Catholicism. It's not Catholicism. Catholicism saw Christ beat their soldiers and rise from the dead. So at that point, they believed Christ was God. They know he escaped the grave, and there was no disciples breaking through the Roman army to get Jesus out of the grave, right? So that's why they probably have respect for it, but they did come from a religion that was just about religion and the power of religion, about power. But when that happened, I think that's what affected, in my opinion, Catholicism to have an influence and respect the history of the Bible, and I don't think they altered it. They didn't put the Pope in the Bible. They didn't switch it to the Bible to say Mary is God, but they do that in their worship services. They treat her like that sometimes, some of them. But they show respect for Mary for more than they should, apparently. I don't know. I do have appreciation for Mary. Obviously, I'm glad she didn't abort Jesus and all that kind of stuff, right? And she trusted God and worked things out with Joseph and all that. So, and then she didn't complain at the cross because she knew he was legit. She didn't say take him off the cross. He's just crazy or something. She didn't say he's crazy, and I got that idea from Mark Lowry, a comedian, Christian comedian. But he mentioned, look, Mary's one of the biggest evidences. She did not say, I know he's crazy, but you don't have to crucify him. She didn't do any of that. And she was probably the first or second to trust that Christ. She didn't. The disciples ran away doubting Jesus. This is something I noticed recently, and I'd have to double check myself on it at some point. I never have time anymore. But double check. But she did not doubt who Christ was when he died on the cross. And all the disciples, Peter denied Christ 3 times, denied that he was one of his disciples, because when he died, they lost faith in Christ. A lot of the disciples did. And especially Peter did. He was the strongest one, claimed to be. But Mary didn't lose faith. She knew who he was, without a doubt. She knew she had never been with a man before, and that she was impregnated by God putting Christ in her. So, and just some of the atheists I've run into claim, oh, God had sex with Mary. No, it wasn't like that. He miraculously put Christ's seed inside of Mary, and she knew it. That's why she didn't leave the cross. I mean, she didn't lose faith at the cross. She knew more than anybody, right? So when they're hating on the Bible, they've switched. They lie, and they've done all this, lied about who's the, white supremacists. They lied about who they are. And the Democrats are the white supremacist party. The people in the media, that's white supremacy. The ones that own all the media and shut me up. Try to shut me up. Now we got more media now, but they're still playing tricks. They block stuff. I post stuff. They block it so other people can't see it. They block my views and all that kind of stuff. And at least they're still letting me be on there because I guess they make money. I don't know why I'm glad they're letting me on, but very few people see my posts. And I know that's changed the way it's the algorithms, they call it. I know they've done that because I have posts that got let's see what my best one was, 3,000, or I think I got 5,000 on one particular post. That's the most I've had. 5.7 thousand in 3 days. And then all of a sudden I've had that post has been blocked from getting any more views. Nobody else has seen it since. And so there's a few have had 2,000 in the first day or 3,000. And they're not getting any more views. In the last month, 2, there's no views because they're blocking it from being seen. And then from now on, I've had similar posts that I've made, the 15-second posts, and they're all getting 0 views, 1 view, 0 views, because you don't even have to view it, but if it goes down the timelines because algorithms let it, it's gonna be viewed by a lot of people by accident. So they're not even. If you're scrolling down your timeline and you just hesitate on a post, it'll count it as a view. I think that's how it works. So they're not even allowing mine to go down the timelines very much. So that's obvious, right? So because I'm Republican, I'm not Republican. I'm sorry, I forgot I'm not Republican. I support Republicans, though, but I'm independent. I differ from Republicans, and I didn't mean to bring this up, but some of the, people get into all the rules and worshiping rules and perfect records and all that, and I don't like how I disagree on I do believe in improving our drug laws, and Republicans don't do a good job on that, and they don't, and they talk too bad about people sometimes who should be having second chances, and they play in politics when they do that sometimes. But they overdo it, and then when it's addressed to them, some special way they're able to understand and be reasonable and give people second chances, right? So the Democrat Party, though, they hate on good people for doing good things, and they want to take them out, and they don't give them a second chance. Or if somebody messes up a certain way with certain things, they'll kill them. So the Republicans aren't into killing people and stuff, but the Democrats are. So that's a little worse. Instead of just giving them a second chance and ruining their name like sometimes Republicans will do, at least they let them live, right? The Democrats, they're going to kill somebody, but unless it's one of their slaves that they're benefiting off of, and they'll keep them alive sometimes. Literally, I'm talking literally here. But that's their mobs and stuff, the gangs and stuff they promote. That's what they do. They kill people. They steal from people. They kill people. Now you're lucky that they don't always just go around killing people. But some people recently, I've seen them. They kill people. Literally, it's gotten worse. I mean, like that. But they do hesitate to kill people, but they threaten to kill them and get them out of the way and all that kind of stuff. And they hesitate to kill because they don't want to go to jail. That's the only reason they don't kill them, right? But they do it. They still do it, but just not as much as they would if they weren't worried about jail or getting caught and stuff, right? So, but some of them don't care, and so you're seeing a lot of that, a lot of killings nowadays, right? More than ever. That's the Democrat Party has ushered that kind of stuff in. And then when a Republican gets in office and they speak against killing and all that, then, see, the Democrats do speak against it only for the killers, the people who support the killers, people who are Democrats. But then they turn around and they promote hurting a Karen. They promote killing a Karen, really. They allow gangs to talk all they want about killing what they call a Karen or a Trump supporter and all those kind of things. And that's a double standard. So, but Republicans do oppose killing people all the way around. So all of but putting them in the judicial system, and then they don't agree. They support death penalty. They're not real outspoken about it. But you take time to assess, and that's the death penalty for somebody who has killed somebody. That's not for and all these other little things, right? That's for somebody who's killed somebody. But they believe in mercy too, right? In general, that's how it's pretty much right. And I've assessed that and tried to teach it. That's proper to leave it on the table, but have mercy. But if they're still trying to kill people behind bars, we need safe prisons. You can't. What else can we do with you if you're still doing it? They need to proceed with the death penalty, or give them sedatives all the time, and put them in Alcatraz or something. If they're killing people in prison and ruining the prisons for everybody else to rehab to get better, you can't have it. I mean, but Republicans are against killing babies. Democrats are for killing babies. I mean, come on. But so you got, and a lot of that's for racist issues. So back to that point, hidden white racism, abortion. Hidden white racism is promoting, attacking, having black folks attack the police and chase police out of black neighborhoods because they don't want the black people in black neighborhoods to be able to go to work and come home and bring their paycheck home without getting robbed. They want the gangs to take over and make them lose their jobs, steal their cars, flatten their tires, all kinds of stuff. They allow all that. That's hidden white racism, but it's by promoting black racists, by promoting black Islam, trying to get rid of Christianity, because Christianity holds true white racists accountable. Even though there's hypocrites in Christianity and stuff, the Bible holds them accountable. God holds them accountable through his Bible and truth. It doesn't qualify that kind of hypocrisy. It doesn't qualify racism. It's the only book that shows one human race. But through the lineage, it lists it. Historically, it shows one human race. It doesn't just teach one human race. It shows it. It does both. It teaches love your neighbor, love your enemies. Right? So enemies, that's vague. Generally everybody is your neighbor. Everybody is your human neighbor from Adam and Eve, right? Human brothers and sisters from Adam and Eve. So it's like we're cousins. Human brothers and sisters from Noah's family after the flood. So when the Democrats are always calling people Islamophobe, they're trying to go against the Bible, which says we're one race, shows we're one race, and holds us accountable. If we don't forgive, then we won't be forgiven. So that's the Bible. They're trying to get rid of that. And then they'll pretend they support the Bible. They'll have people sing Christmas carols. They'll have people sing about Jesus. And those people are not really singing about Jesus. They're singing about getting rid of Jesus. I mean, they're voting about getting rid of Jesus. They're voting to call Christians Islamophobes and to support Islam instead of Jesus. Islam is an anti-Jesus religion. And there's no evidence that it has a God. There's no evidence that Buddhism has a real God. There's no same with the real God, I should say. Islam has no evidence of having a real God for the second life. We'll put it like that. And that's the definition of a real God in practical terms. Somebody who showed power for the second life. So Jesus is the only one that did that. But Democrats want to make all religions equally false, but respect the ones that help them use the government to bully people into silence, talking about freedom and true religious responsibility to love our neighbors from a real God who died and forgave us on the cross, right? So that's hidden racism. Lying and acting like the KKK, the Democrats, the white Democrats who lie and act like KKK came from Christianity. They know it didn't. It came from evolutionists, right? Evolution is real racism. And they'll call that hate speech for me to say that. Evolution is real racism. But they'll call Donald Trump racist. And he gave black people $200 billion to colleges, black business, and black colleges. And they're going to lie and call him racist, and that's not hate speech. That is hate speech. Calling Donald Trump a racist is hate speech. And it's tricking people from supporting the guy who gave them $200 billion and is on their side. He's trying to teach them how to succeed, too. He's putting other venues in place to help people succeed. They can't see it because sometimes when you got somebody good like Trump in, the hidden white racist Democrats are hurting black people behind the scenes, scaring them, hurting them. Or they have Islamic blacks hurting black people, black Christians. They're scaring black Christians and daring them to keep supporting closing the border to all those poisons that they bring across the border. And so, that's what they do. That's what they do. Yeah. And so that's why some people, they start feeling the pain that Democrats are inflicting on them, and they'll blame Bush or Trump because the media is telling them how bad things are all of a sudden because that's the hidden white racists are telling them how bad everything is with Trump in office. And it's not, except for the COVID. But who brought the COVID? Obviously, the Democrats brought the COVID through China, with China. Well, it's through the scientists. Trump did defund. He defunded the scientists, the global scientists. And something, I forget if that's their title. But the World Global Warming Scientist thing, he defunded it. And then all of a sudden we get COVID because they wanted revenge. They want power. They're lying and using power to control people and stuff. Like they run the drug cartels. They have something to do with all. It's a crooked science. All right, these are crooked scientists, right? They're not making safer medicines legal. They demonize it. They poison it. If they do a new medicine, they poison natural medicines like natural sleeping pill. It's not even from a medicinal plant. It's from your food. It comes out of food. They made it illegal. Tryptophan. Back in, I think, 1982. Then they made it legal again close to Obama's time, right? I don't know if, do I credit Obama with that? I think it was during Obama's time or right before him. It was 2008, I think, or 7. Could have been right before him, 2006. But anyway, it was near that time. Obama, when he was first in office, they made tryptophan legal. Then they're trying to make it illegal again. They've taken it off the market in the stores. It may be still in health stores, but you're not going to see it in Walmart. Now there's a lot of stuff you don't see in Walmart now since Biden's been in office. They don't have spices, certain spices. I never see curry, powder. I don't see cloves hardly sometimes. But then there's certain spices you don't see. There's certain products you don't see that you used to see because we're so poor now. We're poor because he jacked the gas price. He got rid of our gas supplies, and he's letting Iran have a lot of power in that, and other countries have the oil supply instead of us having our own. And Trump had given us our own for the first time, so the prices went down on gas. And when the prices go up on gas or down on gas, when the prices go up on gas, the food prices go up because the trucks transport. They got to be paid more to transport the food to the stores. That's a simple concept. So that's just one example, though. That's what happens all the way around the board. And so the transport goes up, bills go up. So that they're tricking you and sending all this government help for bills. And they're trying to turn it into a socialistic government. Oh, you get this money and this money. But that's because you raised the bills. You raised our gas. You raised the bills. You've made us a slave to Iran for gas. You made us a slave to different countries for our own fuel. They should, and you made us a slave to who else? I forgot. I had another point come up. But anyway, so back to that's hidden white racism, but it's not all about racism. See, it is a lot of it is, but because obviously, I'd say it's not so obvious because white people, they want black people hurting white people in America. Right? They'll never tell you stories about how white people got hurt, but there's more white people that get hurt than black people, like in police incidents, or as far as like there's more white people killed by black people than black people by white people by far. I'm pretty sure about that. And there's more beatings where white people get jumped than there are black people, guaranteed. But and that's been like that for a long time. Not even. Maybe since the 60s or 50s, even maybe before that. I don't know if I trust the history because they lie so much now, right? But the point is, they're not calling them out on it. They promote it. The hidden white racists promote it, and it's so. And the point is, the reason they may not do it totally for race reason, but they do it. They can. Some of it is, some of it's not. Some of it's just because they want to destroy our government. They want to destroy the freedom side. They don't want us to be a free country. They don't want us to get along. It's divide and conquer. So, but a lot of it is because they don't want the nice white folks getting along with black people. So they promote the black racism. Hidden white racists in the Democrat Party promote black racism. So they're hurting good white people, right? Which they are not the good ones. the ones promoting this, right? So that they're doing that somewhat because they don't want to see black and white people getting along, right? And they can pretend to get along. They can go hang out with Will Smith in the media and pretend they're getting along, while Will Smith promotes Islam, while Will Smith promotes the fentanyl coming over the borders. But who's that killing? That's not just killing. It's killing a lot of white people. It is. So is Will Smith supposed to be killing white people? Promoting that with his politics, or what's his name, Jay-Z, all those guys, Beyonce, are they promote? But it's not just killing white people; it's killing black people in the ghettos. Black people everywhere, but black people, especially in the ghettos. It is because they're getting the most fentanyl put in their stuff. A lot of them maybe. Frankly, the ghettos they're pretty smart about some of this stuff, so they may know what's what more than some people. So it's probably did. I think during Obama's time, there was more white people killed than ever before by drug poison. And that's a fact you don't hear about much, but it's a fact. And so probably a lot of the gangs that deal drugs, they knew what they were doing, maybe, right? And then that might be connected. Jay-Z may know about that, but the fact is there's also customers in ghettos that don't know what's going on, and they were killed by it too, right? And then not only that, some of them I've met people who've learned to use fentanyl and think it's okay to use it because their body tolerates it, and it's a certain type of fentanyl, but all they got to do is get one mistake, one bad that's strong, little stronger than it said. All it has to be is a little stronger, or maybe you get a little too drunk drinking, or you're sleepy. You mix it with a sleeping pill, and you didn't realize you took 2 doses, and that fentanyl will kill you like that. Even for the people that tolerate it, but their body tolerates it. So hidden white racism. That's where all the hidden white racism is. It's not. I've mentioned in another video, kind of slip of the tongue a little bit, that there can be hidden white racism in hypocritical churches or people Phariseeism, where people are Pharisees and they're not true Christians. And I will say, some people think Pharisees can be a true Christian and have been a little tricked by all the rules and stuff, and put too much dependence on rules and trying to look good and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of times, I think the Bible indicates that a lot of times a Pharisee thinks they're saved and they're not a Christian. They think they're a Christian, but they're not, because they've trusted in outer appearance instead of trusting God in their heart. So they're not trusting forgiveness and salvation. They're trusting their works. In other words, the Bible talks about works. It's not through works that we're saved. That's not of works, lest any man should boast. For by grace are you saved through faith, and not of yourselves. It is a gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. I may be mixing up 2 verses, but I think that's Ephesians 2:8 and 9, if I recall. But Ephesians 2:8 and 9. Double check me on it. So there's people that believe that fall for the works. And so if they're Phariseeism and they're always looking on the outside appearance of men, then there can be some racism hidden there, and then that they don't even realize, because, oh, we treat black people good or white people good. We treat them good. If it's Michael Jordan, or if it's a homeless person, we gave him food and money. But on the other hand, then they have like a split personality. They might go sit somewhere and just go into their zone. When people get tired, and they're like, look at this crummy guy. Look at that bum doing it. They may go into that flow and just nitpicking and not realize people have a certain job, and they don't. What do you call it? There's a word, parcel stuff. Well, they don't. I can't remember that old word, but they don't compartmentalize well. That's the word. Compartmentalize well, because but somebody who's sincere and understands where the root, if they're geared into the root, they're going to learn how to compartmentalize and realize, I didn't just switch, let me fix this one more time. There. So I put a hat on backwards, and it's not fitting right, because when I put it on frontwards, the shadow blocks the light. So, and it looks all right this way, right? So it's a different style. I like to wear a different hat look for each video, but I'm about to close this video. All right. So you have it's the Phariseeism, where it's not purposely hidden racism, though. Now, a hypocrite, if there was some racism with a hypocrite, that's purposeful. A hypocrite is somebody who purposely misleads people and believes something else. Like it'd be an Islam person, a Muslim pretending to be Christian to hurt Christianity. They do that. They actually do that. And their Quran actually allows them to lie, to trick Christians and infidels, to infiltrate places. It actually allows that. The Bible doesn't allow us to lie. Because we have a real God, right? He rose from the dead. All right. So, and he loved us, showed his love and forgiveness on the cross. We all have a chance to make it to heaven if we choose the right path. That's Jesus, right? And a real belief of Jesus. We're not just singing about Jesus to use him falsely and to promote false gods. We sing about Jesus. A real person singing about Jesus is singing about Jesus to promote Jesus, to promote love your neighbor, to side with the Republican side of the country, even if you're an independent. If you're an independent, to side with them, because they do believe in the Jesus who is against killing babies. They believe in the Jesus who is against promoting false religions. They do believe in the Jesus who believes in telling the truth, and that we all should be allowed to be educated about that, having the freedom to be educated. So we do believe in having the freedom to choose the side of the country that would choose Christ love your neighbor laws and love your enemy and to turn the other cheek and forgive. That doesn't mean turn your cheek for somebody who's punching you. It means for an insult. For an insult, I'm pretty sure that's what it means. I mean, so when it says when they smite you on the cheek, a slap was an insult in a lot of places, right? But that's not somebody trying to knock you out. That's an insult, right? If you get somebody trying to knock you out, you defend yourself. And so now you can't necessarily back then in the Roman days, if the government was doing it, you're stuck. I mean, if they're giving you Peter a beating or somebody, they had to take it. If you fight back, you get it worse, right? And they ended up getting killed anyway. But that's I don't know if that was in Rome. That was somewhere else probably. But that's just people. That was people who hate. They didn't have freedom back then, right? That's why we have freedom. The Republicans have freedom. You should be able to talk that stuff out. And if you disagree with me, go your separate ways. All right, I have to end this video. So, but there's all kinds of hidden white racism. It's in the Democrat Party. And those are usually, if they're playing Christian, they're usually the ones playing hypocrite, and a lot of times a Pharisee type who thinks they're Christian and is not, might even pose as a Republican and vote Democrat because they like the power that they have in silencing speech and stuff like that. So that can happen. So a true Christian, though, isn't going to vote against Christ for the Antichrist party. They're just not going to unless they just haven't studied enough or understand enough. And they could still, somebody like that could still be saved, but they got to learn at some point. Look, wait, I'm voting for people who hate Jesus and who want to stop other people from learning about Jesus. And that matters because there is a second life, and they're sending people to hell without ever having a chance to hear about Jesus. They're stopping people from having a chance to hear. I got to go because this won't record. So 1 John 4:8, he that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. 1 John 1:8, he who says he has no sin makes God a liar, and the truth is not in him. He's calling God a liar if he says he has no sin, because God is sinless, not us. And verse 9, 1 John 1:9, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. And false religions hate that fact about Christ. You think you can not be perfect and you can keep talking. You can't talk. You can't try to speak up for good things. If you messed up the other day or messed up anytime, a year ago, if you messed up, I've met people, some Hispanic people, believe it or not, who in shelter situation, who hated hearing people who rehab from drugs and couldn't stand it. Can't believe that they let a person who used to be on drugs and all that speak. They should not be allowed to speak. And so there's that facet. That's not just in the Hispanic community, but that part does exist in the Hispanic community, bigger than some, I think. But there's white people that do that too, that have that attitude. Now I don't know. That's kind of Pharisee, and it's not a real belief in Christ. I'll say that Christ is forgiving and redeeming. I'll end on that. God bless and rise with.